everyone, welcome to DevOps Info channel. Today we are going to explore one of the cloud security offering from Microsoft, which is the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. This is basically used for enhancing the cloud security posture. This Microsoft Defender for Cloud, formerly it was known as the Azure Security Center. For people who have used it in the past, yeah, they know what is Azure Security Center. Uh, it's a and now the Microsoft Defender for Cloud is a comprehensive cloud security solution from the Microsoft. Um, it's basically a cloud security posture management and a cloud native app protection. It provides security management and threat protection for the resources that is deployed in the Microsoft Entra as well as in resources in other clouds like AWS or Google Cloud Platform. Let's say if your organization is adopting a multi-cloud strategy, then this could be a very well uh, cloud security posture for protecting and monitoring all your resources that is deployed in the cloud. And as you could see in the screen, it's a combination of a DevSecOps, a cloud security posture management, and also a cloud workload protection. So this is giving protection for the servers, containers, storage, and any workloads that is running in the cloud. So overall, like this is the overview of how it looks like. It would be able to protect the resources deployed across a different cloud, and then it also helps to unify your DevOps, security management, strengthen and manage your cloud security posture, and also protect your cloud workloads. So having said that about the introduction, the pricing is always there, so you can always go to the Microsoft Defender for Cloud pricing, and this is the overview, and you can just go and see the pricing, how much it is costing for your for your organization based on the region from where you're coming from as well. So going further into this, like I was just exploring in my demo tenant, and then basically I have to go to the Azure subscriptions and enable this. And the moment when I enable this, it is giving me a dashboard. This is basically an overview dashboard. What you see that gives a security score, a recommendation, alerts, and also it has some resource inventory. It's like overall centralized view of the cloud security posture, and it's giving some proactive facilitating some proactive measures. If you have already explored about the Microsoft Entra ID protection, the Microsoft Entra ID protection uses something called Advanced Analytics Engine. The same concept is being used here, but the same advanced analytics engine is being used to monitor all the resources that you're deploying in multi-cloud resources. So basically, that same concept is used here, but that's for Entra ID, but this is not for Entra ID. This is going to be for the resources that we have deployed in the Entra, like a VM or a container or a storage account, a network security groups, whatever you call it. So most of them you will be able to monitor. If you talk about the overview, like this is how it looks like, and since it's a demo tenant, I don't have much information on it. I just try to simulate something so that I would be able to show how it is looking in reality. So in the overview, first you see the security posture, like which is giving some critical recommendations if it is able to identify something, and then even the attack paths, and keep in mind, like if you enable it, it usually takes some time to understand your tenant and then give the recommendation. It is the same case even for the Entra ID protection, because it in the back end it works with that advanced analytic engine, so the same concept is applicable even here. So you need to wait for some time, like 24 hours or 48 hours. After that, you'll be able to see the complete recommendation that's based on the resources that is running in your tenant. So the first thing, security posture, it also gives you all recommendations by risks, the total secure score. So if you see here, the total secure score is 31% because at the moment I have connected only Azure, as well as there's an option to connect the Git repositories and Azure DevOps, which I have done. But I don't have AWS and GCP. That's the reason it doesn't give any score for that. So like the total secure score, you would be able to see it. But in my case, the Azure is 31. I have to check what is the reason for that. And over the right, you see the critical vulnerability that's present in your VMs, containers, or any assets that's running in your tenant. um, and then if you scroll down, there is also a regulatory compliance. So this regulatory compliance is like uh, different of a cloud is giving a tools that is helpful for managing the compliance with the regulatory standards of the industry frameworks and the organization policies. Like when you go much deeper into it, uh, there are some compliance assessment and the automated compliance checks with some compliance reports, with the default built-in policies that is already present. Like if we have time, I would show that also. So that helps in building and monitoring the compliance issues across your cloud environment. So basically, that helps you to maintain the compliance standards, compliance within the relevant standards based on your organization or based on your region. So there are some default one. You could take a look at it, and also you can tweak it based on your requirement. Um, and this is what we could see in the overview. And you see in the getting started, this is like the place where you see how to get started, like the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. For the There is another one called the enhanced security features. The enhanced security features gives these three additional improvements, like cloud security posture management, the cloud workload protection for the machines, and also the advanced threat protection for PaaS. So this one comes with the Microsoft Defender for Cloud's enhanced security features. So if you can also get started with 30-day trial and see the results. And when you go to the get started, you have an option to add the non-Azure servers. So the first thing first, like it works with a log analytics agent. So basically, even if you're looking to protect your resources running, for example, a VM which is running in your subscription, it would ask you to install the log analytics agents in the VM, which is straightforward, and you could do it in the portal. But for the non-Azure servers, like you should install the log analytics agent, and then you should make sure the outbound connection is present. And also, you could connect your AWS and GCP deployments to get the unified view. That's also possible. And in the install agents, this is focused more for the Azure resources, which I've already done, and that's the reason you see it. It's all set. And Microsoft always recommend to continue with installing the agents. That's the reason. That's when you get all the complete benefits out of it. And here is the where and the next tab is the place where you get the recommendations. And this is the security recommendations, like a list of actionable items that helps you to improve your security posture. So these recommendations are based on the industry best practices, compliance standards, and Microsoft security intelligence. Yeah. This is using the Microsoft Threat Intelligence database. So as a result of that, this value, is compared, and it gives you what is the best recommendation that's coming as a regular practice. So if you see here, I have two Azure subscriptions which I have connected, and then if I scroll down, it gives some recommendations. So here I have connected the Azure subscriptions. I don't have the AWS accounts, so that's the reason it's not giving any information. But if you see the GitHub connections, yeah, I have connected the Git repos, and it gives me some risk, like Azure DevOps repository should have a GitHub Advanced Security for Azure DevOps. So it's asking me to enable the GitHub Advanced Security, which I've not done it. So yeah, the risk level is low, but I can do that. And then I also have the Azure DevOps connectors. So the Azure DevOps connectors, let's say if it is able to detect any secrets which is stored. in the public repo, then it would be able to detect. So those kind of things like in the Azure DevOps uh, connectors would be able to identify. So here it's also giving me the Azure DevOps repository should have the GitHub Advanced Security. So I have not enabled it. So this is what it comes in the recommendations. And there is something called attack path analysis. So this attack path analysis like show the risk of security that's coming across your environment. So that helps you to prioritize and work on that part. Yeah. So since this is a new environment, I have enabled it. Yeah, like just few minutes back. So that's the reason you see you get this message. Defender was enabled recently, at least one of your subscription. It could take up to 1 day until all data will be available. So which is acceptable and understandable because Microsoft Threat Intelligence database and the advanced analytics engine needs to understand and identify the best recommendations for my tenant. So here you see the security alerts. I also don't see anything because it's just started now. And this part is the inventory. This is like a resource inventory where it's a summary of the cloud resources, like the virtual machines, the storage accounts, the database under the management of the different of a cloud. So this will help you to understand and scope your security coverage. Like for example, this is my inventory. This is one of the demo subscription which I have. So I have two VMs, which is yeah, test DC and ADF server, which is installed, and then this is the subscription which I have. So if you see here, the monitoring agent is installed, which is mandatorily required. And then you see the subscription. So for example, if I go to the domain controller, let's see what's the recommendations. I see some high alerts like management ports of virtual machines should be protected within just-in-time network access, and container host should be configured securely. uh, Log agents should be installed on virtual machines. EDR solution should be installed. So these kind of things helps to further fine-tune your security posture. And also you see the installed applications and the secrets, just in case if you have placed any secrets, then you would be able to see it here. But I have not done, so that's the reason it's not showing up anything here. Yeah, and if you see on the subscription level, it would ask you to some recommendations. So these are the things. See, the blocker accounts with read and write permissions should be removed. Microsoft Defender for Key Vault should be enabled. Yeah, Key Vault is present, but I have not enabled, which is a very good recommendation. I should do that as well. Microsoft Defender for API should be enabled. So these things, yeah, guest accounts with owner permissions on Azure resources should be removed. Yeah, this is because I have given access to a few of my colleagues to do some testing, so that's the reason it is coming over here, which is good. Let's further drill down and see what is the message it is giving. So I think it's view valid accounts. No, but I don't see any further information. Maybe I have to look further into this. Yeah, but this is good. So going further, and this is the Cloud Security Explorer. In the Cloud Security Explorer, you see the resource type. Like for example, I can choose all the resources, and then when I do done and search for it, it is going to give me what are the resources I have, and I can, for example, I choose this resource, and then general. Yeah, it's a user account. So yeah, it gives some information. Since I have no much information, that's the reason it is giving no much data. So in going into the workbooks, in the workbooks you see there are default some nice workbooks which is created, which you can look into it. Like for example, when I go into the DevOps security, uh, I can see expose secrets, the DevOps code security findings, and then secrets, OS vulnerabilities, which is good. And I also saw some other very nice workbook. Just a second. Yeah, secure score over time. So this is like would give you the secure score over the last 7 days. it would give some secure score when the data is available. You can run this, and even also you can send it as a report through the action alerts, which is good. So overall, in the general tab, you see all this information, which is really good. And in the cloud security, in the next part, you have the security posture management. This is basically a tools for assessing and managing the posture of your cloud resources. Like this includes the capabilities for identifying any misconfigurations, vulnerabilities, complaints issues across your cloud environment. So, like for example, in the security posture, you see like by cloud, yeah, Azure is 42%, and in the environment risk, it is showing what are the environment that is in the risk. Yeah, and then you see these are the subscriptions which I have. The pay as you go is the default Entra ID tenant for Microsoft 365, and the secure score is 71%, and this is the other tenant, which is like the secure score is 30%. So I have to look at it and improve the secure posture. And the last one, this is the Azure DevOps, which I have connected it, and then the secure score is not yet available because I think I have to do some more additional configuration. So the next one is the regulatory compliance. This is a kind of a compliance management. Basically, this is a tools for managing the compliance with the regulatory standards. So like Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark, it says like they have like 65 kind of controls, out of which only 45 has been passed. Yeah, so if you go to the manage compliance standard, I think this was the place where you could add any environment. Like for example, when you go and click on the add environment, you have the Amazon, Google, GitHub, DevOps, and GitLab. So in my case, I have added GitHub and DevOps. So that's the reason it's the one GitHub connections and Azure DevOps connections. And there are also other things like governance rules. Like for example, when you go into the governance rules, you can create a rule and then continuously assess your hybrid and the multi-cloud workloads. So like that's very good, especially to see if your resources are meeting the regulatory standards. So that's a very good part. And coming to talk about the workload protections, this is also giving an idea of how many workloads that you have in your environment. Like for example, I have the storage servers. So like there are totally five, and then fully covered. So the workload protection is enabled because I enable the workload protection on all these resources, and then that's the reason it is showing as fully covered. Yeah, and you see that is not covered, which is 20%. Yeah, so I think one of the resources which is not covered, that's the reason it is showing. The moment I enable it, it would come as fine. So here you also have the data security. So in the data security, it would give the data resources with the high severity. But here I don't have any data resources with high severity because firstly, I don't have much data in this demo tenant. That's the reason. So I have just one or two storage accounts and no much data in it, and that's the reason it's not having any severity alerts. Um, Going to the firewall manager, you also have the firewall security coverage where you can play around with the VNets, which will helps, and then Azure firewall policies. But in my case, I have only virtual network with firewall security coverage, and then I don't see any issues over here. And here is the DevOps security. Like this is the place where you see any DevOps security findings. Like for example, if there is any code vulnerability issues, any code secret issues, or infrastructure as a code findings or dependency findings, you see them all over here. And then like in my case, like I have some test repositories, and then there is something advanced security status like which we saw already. I have not enabled it, and that's the reason it is showing off. And yeah, so basically these are the recommendations that's coming from here. And yeah, this is the overall cloud security posture management. And when you go into the management in the environment settings, in the management it's like basically it gives you excuse me, it gives you the integration settings. Like for example, configuration options for integrating the Microsoft Defender for Cloud to any other SIM tools and any other platforms. Um and that's the reason you see them over here. For example, you see ServiceNow integration. You could do that for reporting a ticket for any issues that you have identified. And you see here also the security solutions, any other security solutions like any non-Azure servers you can do. And also, I saw there is a place where you could, add a third-party SIM over here, which I'm not able to find it. But yeah, there was a data source where you could collect from the third party connected. Yeah, partner security solutions were not connected yet. So you can do that. Um, so view all security solution connected to different of a cloud. Um, yeah, and then you see the workflow automation, which is good. In the workflow automations, you can add a workflow automation to trigger an alert for specific conditions, which is good. So overall, I see this is to be a very nice solution. Like the Microsoft Defender for Cloud, basically, you know, uh, it's a very good security posture that helps by providing visibility, threat detections, and response capabilities. So it can be helpful for any organizations to go with this. Hope you enjoyed this video and feel free to subscribe to get more updates on the same. Thank you.